I'm just going to pray real quick. Father God, Lord, we just come to you right now. We're just grateful for this opportunity. We're grateful that we can come together, Lord, and just be, we want to use this time to be a vessel for you. We want you to speak through us. We want you to be able to allow us to spread the hope, the wisdom, and the knowledge out to the world, Lord, that you just continue to keep us on the path that we're on, Lord. And we pray this in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 9 of the Discipline and Legacy podcast. We're here with my man, Dan Sikowski. Traveled down here from New Jersey. And Dan's got an awesome story. We've been supporting each other now for a while. We've been following each other's kind of journey, and we kind of vibe on a lot of the same levels. We're doing a lot of the same things. And Dan's got an awesome story. I know a little bit about it. And, I really, obviously with the Discipline and Legacy podcast, we see folks how they are now. We don't get to see, the adversity and the pain and the times that we went through that were the hard times. So I want to hear that story from Dan today and kind of how he traversed through it and overcame and now is helping others. And so Dan, I'm going to turn it over to you, man.
Where do you want me to start?
Let's start from your, what's 2 time periods in your life or let's go with one, the most adverse time of your life.
That's a tough one. So I'll just say, I'll talk about 2. The first one was when I was 24 years old. I went bankrupt. At 17 years old, I started my own company. From 17 to 24, I made $3.8 million. 2006, I made net $680,000 at 24 years old.
What were you doing?
Construction.
Okay.
And the reason why I felt into that role of making all that money and being a business owner, my family didn't come from business. We had no business doing business. And we were ultra conservative, but at the same time, we weren't living at our highest levels. My parents had limiting beliefs. Bon Jovi's from New Jersey. We passed Bon Jovi's house when I'm 15. I asked my dad, what's this? He goes, oh, those are rich people. We'll never be rich. Light switch flips off. I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I go, I have the poor dad. Now I need to find a rich dad. I find a rich dad. He was my first and only boss I ever had in my life. 16 years old. This guy, Dave, became my mentor. I used to go to his house, sweep his garage floor, sweep his basement floor, clean his leaves, just to ask him questions. Dave became my rich dad, and I realized that there was power in understanding the differences of 2 worlds. 17 years old, after working for Dave for 2 years, I left high school. I told Dave I was going to start my own company. He goes, if anyone's going to do it, it's you. And I believe in you, but you're probably not ready yet. All he had to tell me was he believed in me.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the other part.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole, tell me I can't do something and I'll,
He's just like, not yet. Let me help you get there.
I was that guy. What? I can't do what? Watch this,
So then, during that time, we're around the same age. Remember MTV Cribs?
Yeah, I do.
Right?
Yeah.
So MTV Cribs painted this illusion for us as children that wealth was homes, cars, and money. And so after seeing Bon Jovi's house, we're not going to be rich. Those are rich people. I want wealth. What's wealth in our mind based on TV is the big house, the big cars. We didn't know that shit was rented back then. They didn't tell us it was rented for the episodes. So we're just chasing this dream. So from 17 to 24, I chased money, made tons and tons of money. I lived in a 5,000 square foot house at 24, had 2 Escalades, S55 AMG, house in Cabo, Mexico. If you looked at me, man, I was the biggest thing going on. My neighbors' kids were older than me living at home.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is I was lost because I chased money. And when 2006 happened, the economy crashed, and I was forced to claim bankruptcy because the construction industry just wasn't moving anymore. The foreclosure epidemic we were in. I went to my lawyer's office and said, listen, I got to close my company. And he goes, you're probably one of the most powerful young men I've ever met in my life. For you to be able to build what you've built over the last 7 years, most people will never build that in a lifetime. I go, but I'm losing it all. He goes, but you did it once, you'll do it again. So that day I walked home, I had 2 kids, 6 months old and a year and a half old.
Son's daughter?
Two boys.
Gotcha.
Those 2 boys had their arms out and they were running to me because I was home. They didn't care about what was going on in my emotions. They didn't care about what was going on. And when I walked in that day, I realized for the last 7 years of my life, I chased money, not purpose.
Yeah.
So moving forward, I decided I was going to chase purpose. I was going to make money secondary.
You realized that at 24 years old?
24 years old.
Nice. So you were definitely advanced.
I didn't go to school. So here's where it all shifted. When I was 14 years old and I walked into my freshman year, This was right after my dad told me the difference of us and rich people. My phys ed teacher was a fat shit. I mean, severely overweight, almost 400 pounds. So I go,
PE teacher.
yeah. This is right? Health teacher, physical ed teacher is 400 pounds. And in my third semester, or my third period, I had a business class. I was excited because I was intrigued about business. I walked into the class, I asked the teacher, I go, what business do you own or did you own? I never owned a business. I go, this is messed up. My gym teacher is overweight. My business teacher never had a business. What are they teaching us? So from that point moving forward, I never paid attention. I had freshman English as a senior and I still failed. Because the system was broken and I didn't care. I played football. I loved it. I realized I wasn't academically eligible to go to college. So now, leave school, start my own business.
Yep.
That's what I did. So I was only advanced because I knew at a young age that my limiting beliefs came from my parents. I grew up in an apartment in the hood.
They quit for you before you even got a chance to start.
Most of our parents did. Most of our grandparents did, because back then it was about, security.
Yeah.
Security is a thing of the past.
That's this whole sheep thing,
So if you think about your grandparents, your grandparents were actually super wealthy because they saved their money. But our parents didn't, because the times changed, but the thought process never changed. Now today, to be successful, you need multiple distribution centers of income.
Yes, sir.
That wasn't the thing in the past. So that was the only way we were going to make it. But this is all, moving on in life. So after I go bankrupt, I realized I got my back up against the wall. I got to figure it out. Built a few more companies, scaled them, sold them, bought a bad company, went out of business again. And then I get to a point where now I'm 40 years old. 40 years old, 3 kids, divorced. I'm building a massive, massive company. I just sold another company. I have a heart attack. This is the point in my life where everything shifted. So I feel like I became awake at 24, hired my first business coach, because everyone goes like, what is the one thing that you wish you did different in your early age? Do you regret going bankrupt? I said, no, it taught me a lot, but I regret not asking for help. Remember Dave? Dave said, you're not ready. I didn't ask him to help me. I said, I got this, and I left him. I left the nest. So from that point moving forward, I had a business coach. 4 years ago, I have a heart attack. Laying in the ambulance, I don't know if you've ever had a serious medical issue happen to you, but when you're laying in the ambulance, you have no idea what's going on. You're like blacked out. There's lights. People are standing over you. It's just like you see in a movie.
Yeah.
It's totally blurry. Texting my kids, sending them videos. I love you. At this point, my one son didn't talk to me for 2 years after my divorce. It was rough. I said, God, if I go now, I really have done nothing of value in this entire world. What did I do? Build some houses, do some things. What legacy did I leave for my kids? So hence your podcast here. When I walked out of the hospital, I promised God I was going to change my life, and I was going to change more lives as well.
Okay.
So I decided to get rid of my company because I knew how to make money. I knew how to lose money. But what I saw around me was most people that were in business were the largest employee of their business. They were suffering. They were stressed. They were living in chaos. And that was me early on. But I've been able to build systems and processes and build companies where I didn't have to attend 40, 60, 70 hours a week. I had a company that was growing at less than 20 hours a week. But most business owners never get there. That's why they don't scale.
What type of company?
It doesn't every business is the same. Okay. Doctors are the same. So a lot of people neglect the fact that they want to bring in help because they don't want to pay for it. But they don't realize, most business owners feel like, and I'm sure you've said it before, we've all said it, I wish I could find one more of me.
Oh, yeah.
Right? How selfish is that? In reality, we suck. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's say there's 5 things that we do on a daily. There's 5 people who can do all one of those things. All 5 of those people can do it better than us because that's their singularity of focus.
100%. Yeah, no.
So that's where most business owners stay stuck. They don't want to hire out. They're like, oh, if I just do this, I'll save money. Oh, I just do this. But we run out of time. And time's our most valuable asset. So now I'm in a position where I help business owners become the CEO.
Well, I think not even with the time thing, though. I think that you're not able to fully give yourself 100% to everything. Mm-hmm. You're only given 20% to everything. Whereas if you delegate those tasks, I learned that as a paramedic, delegating was the most important thing. You're like, hey, CPR, drugs, IV.
Right.
And I've learned that in my time of leadership and management now is that I want the next guy to be better than me. Yeah, I want to teach him how to be better than me. I don't want to hold him into a box, to where he's stuck where he's at for years. So And that's the mindset and the culture that we have to build in the company as well.
Yeah. Most business owners don't think that way, though. Most business owners want to keep it all. They want to hire low-hanging fruit. The cheaper the labor, the better the paycheck
Ends
for
up
me.
costing you more in the long run.
100%. Your worst investment is on people who aren't worth the investment, right?
Yeah. I agree, man. I definitely agree. So go back to, you're in the ambulance, what are you thinking of other than,
I'm in the
where was your faith? Let me ask you that question.
So I'm a strong believer in faith. I've been saved since 2007.
Okay.
I actually got saved, brings me back. My son was 18 months old. He fell 18 feet out of a room above my garage of my house right to my feet. He was saying bye to me as I was leaving. I pulled this is when I had an S55 AMG. I'm backing it out of the driveway. I get out, go to, I forget something in the house. I go to run in the house. My kids are in the room above the garage. My garage had 14-foot ceilings, plus the room was above it. He's on top of the couch. He's like, bye, Dad. Hits the screen, right out. Falls on the floor. He says, what is this table? Not moving. So I was born Catholic. I tell people I'm a recovering Catholic.
Yeah.
Catholic is, for me, it's like organized crime. Like we're traditionally brought up to follow traits, but we're never taught to understand what it's about. That's why most people who are Catholic today don't understand it like 40, 50 years ago, because they're not taught the principles. They're just saying, hey, we have to repeat the patterns.
Yeah.
So these two guys that I met, they were in business. They owned a paving company. I've known them for 2 weeks. Christians.
Mm-hmm.
I had an appointment with them that morning. I didn't make it. They're calling me. I'm like, dude, I'm in a hospital. I'm sorry. They find out what hospital I'm in. They stayed with me and my family for the next week and a half.
Wow.
2 Christians. Their families brought us dinner. Wild. They're like, dude, you need God.
Yeah.
I go, I believe in God, but I didn't. My faith was only as much as I knew, which was nothing. I went to Catholic school, got taught nothing. So at that point, I become a Christian, and life changes. But I'm going to tell you something. It's very hard for us when we become a Christian to really have faith in the change. So I think a lot of people, when they're first introduced, we need something big to happen to us for us to really want to experience something else. So I was into it, but then I just started getting more and more into it as I started seeing these patterns in my life. Things started happening. I think heavily like after 2014, around that time, I was already a Christian, but now at this time I was sold out, bro. I was like, this is it, And I started daily gratitude. I started reading devotionals every day, every single morning. You can ask these guys that are here. Every single morning, I read 5 devotionals every morning. I journal with my gratitude. I talk to God. I ask God, and that's where I'm at. I don't start my day without it. I will be late everywhere. So at this point, my faith is strong. So I did say in the ambulance, like I was texting my kids bye, but I did say, like, God, like if this is it, this is it. But if it's not, I promise you,
Right.
I will deliver on a higher level. But I don't remember much after that, because when you're going through all these emotions and you're in cardiac arrest, you don't know what's going on. All I remember is like lights in the hospital. I'm telling you, bro, it's just like the movie.
Yeah.
What's going on here? And that point, coming out of the hospital 3 days later, I made a decision that I was going to change my life, and I committed myself more to God at that point, to be a servant.
100%.
At that point.
Yeah. I think you get more. I feel like I get more from helping or giving of myself, or serving.
Yeah.
I think I get more out of it than the people that I'm helping sometimes. It's almost like it is selfish in a way. But exactly what you said, religion is for people who don't want to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who've already been there and don't want to go back.
Right.
So that's been my journey. My path is exactly that. Like I talk to some people, like I'm 100% away from being perfect. People think that because I preach what I preach, or I say what I say, like I'm this like huge Christian guy and I walk a perfect life, but that's not the truth. Like I sin regularly. I'd fall short regularly. Like, and it's okay. It's okay to admit that.
Because of the grace of God and His mercy. But at the end of the day, like that,
I don't deserve anything that
the Bible talks about that. We're going to do these things. People try to live a perfect life. We're all imperfect people.
Yeah.
And we're going to go through this stuff, right? So at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter what you do or what you don't do. That's why we believe in Jesus Christ, because He's our Savior. Look at the disciples. What were they? Thieves, all these different people who were committing bad things. and he brought them and he changed them. But still, for the rest of their life, how many times did they turn their back on him, as they were going through the process? But that's us. We turn our back sometimes, and we can ask for forgiveness. We can repent, and that's what the Bible tells us.
That's what repent means,
Yep.
to turn. But no, I love it. I love it. Absolutely amazing. So definitely went into the spiritual part of your journey, that I try to remind myself of that regularly. Is it like but you know what? I was at a place in my life where I had everything, had the big beautiful house, and I lit a match to it and burned it to the ground because I got to the point where it was like, I did this, I got this, I don't need any of you guys, and my pride and my ego is what was my downfall.
Yep.
And so I learned that today the grace and that I have was sufficient, and that God gets the glory for where I'm at. So, and that you definitely touched on that. So talk about what you got going on now.
So fast forward to where I am today. Over the course of the last 3 years, I've built what's called the 7-Figure Blueprint Mastermind and the 7-Figure Blueprint Syndicate, where I bring in business owners, entrepreneurs who really want to scale, who are willing to sacrifice what they've learned up to this point to really get to the next level.
Okay.
But it's not only to make more money, because money should be secondary in your life. Anyone I talk to that puts money first, I can't work with them, because wealth is not money. It's about the life that you create around the money that you have. Money is a vehicle that gets you places, but if you're serving for the right reasons, money will always be there. So based on what I do, I don't have to worry about income. It automatically shows up because I'm serving people, and it just comes. But if I had to, I got to pay my bills, how much money do I have? That's a very bad way to live. And then I talk about freedom. So freedom is about to be able to do life and things in your life for you and your family when you can, when you want. Most people never actually have freedom or get to experience it because they're so tied down in their life. So think about most business owners. Most business owners, they work 60, 78 hours a week. So let's say you have kids. Let's say you have a family. As an entrepreneur, is it fair to say that you're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week and you're coming home and your family's getting what's left? You being tired, you being grouchy, you had a bad day, customers screwed you over, and they're getting the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No,
that's not what you got involved in business for. So how do I recondition that? And the last one is relentless execution. So how many people do you talk to? They go, I work so hard. I go, you probably work harder than me, but not smarter than me, right? It's about the value you bring to the hour. I don't care how many hours you put in. What's the value? So most people think if they work more, I go, more work's more chaos.
Yeah.
You got to have controlled chaos. You got to be able to control it. It's not about more work. It's about being able to control your work.
Just becoming so good at it that you don't need the 8 hours to do. I can do it in 4, or
Exactly.
and
the discipline structure. And these guys that are with me today, this is their first trip with me, and they see how disciplined I am. And I'm like, boom, 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 and they're not used to that, but that's the way you run. And my team now today gets paid based on results. That's the best way to pay people. Like, hey, you got to drive results. That's how you get paid. You don't pay people by the hour anymore, because we're in a world today where the hour means nothing.
yeah.
So, hey, listen, we're going to work today. You could do something in 2 hours and get paid a whole bunch of money, or you can make it take you 3 days. It's up to you. And you instill these traits into people and your team, bro, and it just changes the whole world.
I like it. No, I like it. So you got the coaching thing. How long have you been doing that?
So I've actually been coaching for like 6 years, but full-time, 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I have one-on-one coaching clients where they hire me. I work with them one-on-one. What that looks like is for every single quarter, you meet with me for a half a day, 4 hours for a quarter. We talk every single week. You have unlimited text messaging to me, voice message. I usually talk to my clients probably once or twice every other couple of days. That's when they need me. Anything you need, I'm your resource. You're not going through someone on my team. You're not talking to me in email. You're talking to me.
Yeah.
So I work with them directly, and then over the course of a year's time, anything I do, if I do a mastermind, if I do a live event, they're allowed to come there for free, and I introduce them to my entire network. My network's huge, billions and billions of dollars. I open it up to my clients. Second thing I do is a mastermind. In New Jersey, I have a mastermind, and in Florida, I have a mastermind. What that mastermind looks like is every single quarter we get together, either in New Jersey or in Florida. If you miss Jersey, you can come to Florida. You miss Florida, you come to Jersey in that quarter, same curriculum. The next month, so the third month every quarter, we get together. We talk about the impact. So you get to meet everybody who's actually making moves, and I'm on there, And we're just kind of like sharing ideas of what's working, what's not working, and helping each other. On top of that, I give you like an accelerator 60-day coaching program for free for my mastermind. So over the next 60 days, I will accelerate your business so that when you come to that mastermind, you're already driving. A lot of people say masterminds and people don't know what to expect, don't know what to do. They come there and they don't know how to work the mastermind. I need you to be prepared and ready to go and that your business is already moving so that mastermind is impactful. Because what do people do when they go to an event? They take a bunch of notes, they get excited, then they go home.
Fall off.
It doesn't last. But if I have you in massive momentum, you're now ready. You're on it. Boom. Something clicks. Here we go. So I have the mastermind, and that's where I'm at right now. But over time, I think what I'm going to do in Florida, because Florida's so big, I'm probably going to do like a couple different locations, like something north and something south or something west. I don't know yet. But my whole hub is to come back to Florida. I'm a Florida resident. I just don't live here.
Okay. I'm a Florida resident too, and I wouldn't live nowhere else.
I'm saying my life is my life is in
Texas,
Florida, but I'm mostly in
There's a
Jersey.
reason why everybody wants to come here and play sports for a season too.
Yeah.
No state tax. But all right, so that's awesome, man. You definitely got it going. We're definitely connected on that level for sure. Let's talk about how you deal with difficult clients. Like we just talked about, right? Because I've kind of experienced that too in the little bit of time that I've been coaching. Is that people are gung ho for something, and they don't follow through. So how do you deal with that on your end?
I'll fire them. So usually, if you're working with me, let's say that I connected with you, someone connected us. I'm going to talk to you on the phone probably for about 15 minutes. Understand you, understand your business. I don't want to know every detail. I just want to know where you're at, what you're doing, what your goal is. That's it. Then I'm going to send you an email based on where your life is right now, where you told me you want to go and what your business is. 15 questions directed just for you and made just for you about everything in your business and about you personally. You're going to answer these questions for me. Your answers are going to tell me if I want to work for you. Yes, no, yeah, I think so. I'm good. We're not good.
Yeah.
These questions are so deep.
Start.
And the first question literally leads into the 15th question, where it's like you're going to go back and answer that first question differently. Because I come in soft and I want to know about you today. And then at the end, I want to know about you later. But in the middle is about your season right now. And then by the time the last question, you're like, shit, I need to hire this guy like right now. Because I know everything about you based on what you've already told me in 15 minutes. I can tell in the conversation. And if you answer these questions deeply, I know emotionally that you're ready to go because you want change. So that email tells me if you want change or you just want to make more money.
Yeah.
If you want to just make more money, go get a side job.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you actually want change in your life, you want to be an impact to your community, to your employees, to whatever you're doing, then I can help you. So that first, and then I won't take people's money. Like a lot of coaches will take people's money, sign for my program, sign for this. Not me.
Yeah.
My name's too valuable, and I want everything based off of referral. I was telling two guys, I was on the way up here on a coaching call. I said, guys, listen, they're two partners. They're fucking fighting back and forth all the time. I'm like, I'm not a marriage counselor. Like, if this is the way this is going to go, I'm out. So I want to coach both of you individually, and then we come in together. You have a role, you have a role. Don't talk to each other. Let me be your administrator, and I'll work with you separately. That's the only way it's going to work. Because right now, they both want to go in two different directions. But it doesn't work if you're bumping heads all day long. So I told him today, listen, we clean this up, or I'm done. Where other coaches will be like, oh, these guys are $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Let me just keep them. For me, it's not worth it. It's not worth the frustration. It's not worth the headache, and we're not going to get results.
I feel the same way. I think that's where I'm at with it too, because I had like 5 fitness clients, and 1 out of 5 of them even wanted to do what we were doing. I was like, hey, you got to do this, this, and this, and nobody did anything. And it's like, dude, you just paid me, and it just didn't make sense. So. And for a small time period there, I kind of thought like it was something I was doing or wasn't doing. And it's like, no, somebody, my coach at the time was like, no, you're not doing anything. Just fire them,
Yeah, it's the best thing you could do for them.
And I still see some of the people at church and like, hey, how's it going? I guess you're still not hitting the gym, but the people wanted it deep down inside in the beginning. And for me, like, time is so valuable. Like, it's just not. I've been down that road a lot of times because I was in 12-step. So with 12 step, you're working the steps with people, and it's like you get to step 4 and then you don't see them again. They disappear or whatever. So I had that like kind of wall built where like I didn't want to let people in fully because you're still like they're not all in. So why am I going to go all in?
People say they want things, but they really don't. If your desire is not great enough, it's not going to happen, right?
Right.
And at the same time, like you have to be disciplined. So I learned discipline at a young age because I was bodybuilding at a young age. When I first started my company, I understood the concept of being disciplined with food and everything because that was going to change results. So what I've seen over time is that everybody wants something. When you ask them why, they have no idea why. So I was sitting with a guy the other day. I'm like, actually yesterday in a car, I'm like, why are you good at that? Well, because, all right, well, hit me up. Stuck. Well, why? Don't know. Most people don't know the root of their why. If you can't get to the seed, you're never going to flourish. You can't just be a branch, right? Like, oh, because of this.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I just want to make more money for my family. There's no value there. Just go get a job. Save more money. Stop spending it.
Right.
That's it. But if there's a real reason why you want to move mountains, it has to come very deep from the soil. You know what I'm saying?
And your why changes as you grow and change too. Like yours, that's been my whole story. Is that like I never thought I would be in places that I'm in today. Never thought I would want to help go back to the county jail and bring a message back in there. When I left there, I said, I'm never coming back to this place again. And God just kind of makes situations occur to where like you're like, the pastor of the church when I first got out of jail, he says, you're going to be up on that stage one day. And I laughed at him. I said, me? And now I have a podcast and like social media influencer and like all these things you never would have thought would happen because of the direction that God put you in. So
God like really creates a couple opportunities out there. And I always tell people all the time, I believe God's got a little game for us. How bad do you really want it?
Yeah.
And then we go through all this pressure. And it's like, what do you do with that pressure? Right? So your why turns back to your legacy. Like, what are you trying to do beyond you? And everyone tries to live in a moment. Like, I'm living in a moment for right now. But right now is gone. And if you were gone today, what does that mean tomorrow? So most people don't understand. Like, they feel like life is infinite. Like, some day is a day of the week for them.
Yeah.
Right? So the day you're born, the day you die, you have no control. But that hash is what matters. And 10, 15 years down the road, when my kids or my grandkids are sitting at a table with somebody and they say, well, listen, because of your grandpa, my father was able to excel in business and we were able to do this stuff and we're forever grateful. Like, those are the conversations that need to be had. Now, like, hey, your dad like built my grandpa's house like 30 years ago and it's cool. Like, we still have it in the family. Mm-hmm. What impact is that? Who cares? Right? There's no value there.
Yeah. And I guess it's all about, mindset, it's and perspective, how you see it. So
too many people live in a flash. They live in a place where they want instant success, instant gratification. Like, we live in a shake and bake microwave generation, like 90-second rice.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone wants it like this. And it doesn't happen like this. You got to put the work in. The discipline comes for the long-term result. I mean, that's the only way it's going to happen. You have to have resistance. So you have to fight. So if you want to be ultra successful in life, that resistance is like going to the gym. Like, all right, you talk to kids, all right, I do 4 sets of 15. Does your muscle hurt? No. Well, you need to up the weight so that 14th rep, that 15th rep is exhaustion. And your muscles got to like feel like it's going to rip off. Like, that's where the growth happens, at the point of exhaustion. And most people don't understand that. Same thing in business.
Most people.
Yeah.
I tell this story a lot. I was pulling into the gym one day and I watched these two people fight over the front parking spot, like right in the front of the gym. And they both went in and got it on a treadmill. Like, why wouldn't you park in the back and just take that?
You're walking anyway. Well, they probably didn't have a nice car to park far away anyway.
I say this too because, like, I have that ultra disciplined mindset too, to where, like, if I'm going to the gym, I'm going to at least sweat. And I look around and, there's people that aren't even sweating, and it's like, I don't know where that kind of switch happened for me in life, or maybe I've always been that way. I don't know. From a young age, playing sports and everything, I just had that kind of just go-getter type of mentality that.
When I was bodybuilding back in the day, you'd walk in the gym and all us big guys had fucking sweatshirts on, bro. And we had our wife beaters on underneath, but we didn't take the sweatshirt off until we were completely soaked.
The pump cover?
Yeah, completely sunk. We had to change the sweatshirt to get in the car because it was freezing outside.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a totally different attitude today. It's like, and the cameras in the gym and all this bullshit in the gym. Yep. It's like, bro, come on.
I just bought a camera from a guy that used it 3 times
in the gym.
And But
it didn't show the results he wanted.
It didn't, and he's like, I couldn't do it. I was like, well, what were you filming content for? He's like, he didn't even have a follower on Facebook. Like, what are you putting it on there for? Maybe that's why he was selling the camera.
I saw this thing yesterday. I don't even care. I'll call it out. It was pretty funny. We're in Fort Lauderdale, and there's a Lambo. And it said the Lambo lawyer, Lambo law at. So I'm like, oh, let me check out his handle. He's got like 800 people following him. I'm like, okay, he must not be a good lawyer, number one. Nobody's following you. Number two, like, you're putting your handle on your car because you want to feel important.
Or get more followers, one of the two.
But then I went through his page. There's no impact.
Right.
So you're not going to, because of a car, you're not going to make an impact. And the side of your car, he's got like his thing all lettered up. It says like whatever his lawyer firm is. So here's what I look like. Okay. This guy's got a Lambo. He charged a lot of money. Nobody's following him. He's got no respect. He's just taking my money to afford his car. You know? So it's the same thing with the guy in the gym.
Yeah.
The guy's not showing a result. And if the guy's not showing a result, why am I going to follow him? And what's he going to do? So this is the world we live in. People want like, oh, I need to be an influencer. I need to do something. No, you need to be an impactor. If you become an impactor,
and
then
empowerment.
you right.
You know, I talked about it with a guy on Monday. He's like, oh, you know, they're getting these guys out of jail. Can you give them a job? I'm like, tell them to come fill out an application and meet me and shake my hand. It's like we can't just give people something. There's a difference between handing something to somebody and showing them how to walk. Like there's, you know, what's that saying that you can give a man a fish he can eat for a day, but you teach him how to fish, he'll eat the rest of his life.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of the level that I'm on. Is that like, if I'm coming into contact with you to help you, like I want to show you how to do it. My son comes to me the other day. He's like, Dad, what's this? I said, I don't know. Google it. Boom. And he's the Google generation. Like I grew up before Google, so
we have to figure it out. They don't have to figure it out.
So, and he, like the light went on that hey, I can do anything I want from this internet, this phone right here, you know.
Yeah.
And I that's the empowerment part of it, right?
One thing I hate, like too, is like because I've built such a good like following on social media. People are like, oh, you're an influencer. I go, I'm not an influencer. I'm an impactor. I'm a hope dealer. Like, you know, the only reason why I do what I do is if I could change one person. I don't care how many people like the video. I don't care how many people watch the video. I want to know who the video helped. And that's where the DMs come in. Man, listen, that video you just put out helped me so much. How did you know? How were you talking to me? Were you reading my diary? Like all this kind of stuff. That's what matters.
Well, that's where the coaching thing comes in, I think, like I said before, is by default.
Yep.
You know, if people see that, people who know you, right, just in your locale, same thing for me here, they saw me where I was at the bottom and they saw the rise to the top. So then that's where, or they saw me when I was 300 pounds 2 years ago and they see me now. That's where people are like, hey, how did you do that?
Yeah.
And that, I never wanted to get into coaching, and it's still very new to me, but like it, you know, sounds like you kind of had that same path as far as defaulting into it because of your path.
How many people come up to you and say, oh, I want to be a coach. I want to be a mentor. And here's what I said. Listen, you can't sell the shovel if you never owned it. And then you can't sell the shovel if you don't know how to use it. Right? I said, I had the shovel, used the shovel, broke the shovel, found a new shovel, then sold the shovel. So there's a big difference here. Like I'm teaching based on what I know and what I understand and what I've been through. But most people don't want to go through it. They just want to kind of collect on the backside of it.
Yeah.
And that's where this whole world is twisted.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. You know, and folks have been telling me that too, that, hey, you need to charge for this stuff. I've been helping people for free for years. And it's like,
they don't listen to you, right?
No. I mean, some people have. There's been a few
most don't.
Real close friends of mine that, you know, just little tidbits here and there, and you just watch them grow and flourish. And it's like, man, if I would have never did what you told me to do, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And it's like, that's where you realize that the impact is happening, and you know then you realize that's the path you're supposed to be on.
Before you charge, though, if you really look at it, like 80% of people that you've told things to, they don't do it. We call them assholes, right? They tell you, they ask
what is
you,
it?
Asshole. They ask you everything, but they do totally opposite. And you're like, bro, like what's going on? Didn't I tell you to do it? Oh yeah, but I did it this way, right?
Yeah.
So what I realize is when people have skin in a game, there's a big difference.
100%.
And they're willing to invest. So many people want free information. Like one of my son's friends is in business, and like I helped him. Like he's got a very successful landscape company. He's 21 years old. I helped him when he was 17. Now he's like, I'm ready to scale. I'm like, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you are my son's best friend, but now it's time to level up. and you're going to invest in this because everyone has to, and it's the only way you're going to grow.
Yeah.
But if he would have invested in me at 17 to 21, he probably would have 4x'd, but he did some things.
Well, and then you offer that as well too, as like somebody who's really serious. You said, at the beginning that if you don't scale to 3x, I'll work with you till you do.
100%.
So you're not walking away at the end and saying, oh, well, your 3 months is over. Like, see you later. Have a nice day. You're there with them till the end. So
Trenches,
yeah, and that really shows, that you care. And I think that most people in life, I think that comes from a young age, working with students and stuff. I learned that these kids just want to see structure. They want to see stability. They want to see that you actually care. And when you're showing up time and time again, that they're going to pay attention. Eyes are on me, Right. So I love it, man. I love it. I got a good one for you. What's your why?
My why is to be an individual who changes lives, but not only for people, but for my kids. Because I have 3 kids, and if I could teach my kids one thing, all I want it to be is grit and resilience. That's it. Because no matter what happens in life, you're not stuck. And my kids know that. My kids have seen it. My daughter at 10 years of age wrote something in her class, and her teacher sent it to me. And it said, who's the strongest person you know? At 10 years old, she goes, my dad, because no matter what happens to him, he never quits. How does a kid at 10 years old know that? Because this is all I teach him. And I think the biggest problem in this world is, as a parent, we try to show our kids that we're not suffering. We try to be, like when our parents fought, they did it in the closet.
Yeah.
We had no idea about real life. Now, you're 18, 19 years old, your parents are getting divorced. You're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So I think it's good to show your kids what's really happening so you can show them how to work through it. Because if your kids think that there's no problems in this world and you keep them eliminated from them, now all of a sudden they got problems in this world, drugs, alcohol, all this, because they've never learned how to deal with it.
That's where I'm at with my son. I want him to have adversity. I'll be there to catch him if he falls, but I want him to go through those hard times. Like, he's very much like me, like, hey, I got this, let me handle it, let me do it. I said, okay, you got it, go ahead. And then once he falls, and it's like, I'm not telling him I told you so, but I'm saying, all right, how do we get past this? What did you learn from it?
Yeah, my why is to be the biggest impact for my kids in their generation, because they're next. Their generation is shot. These kids with their video games, these kids with their entitlement, everyone gets a trophy.
There's some good ones.
All this bullshit.
There are some good ones. You can't
put
them completely on
a very small amount.
100%.
Right? But the ones that come, they're using their brain to, all these young kids, they have multiple businesses, multiple things.
Yeah.
They're doing it. But it's very few because the rest of them were coddled. And if you're coddled, there's nothing you can do. So I'm bringing on some of these kids where I've watched them work in the workforce over the last 10 years. I'm like, Jesus, bro, like you want to go smack their mom in the head or their dad. Like, what the hell's going on here? Like, what did you do to this kid? You harmed this kid.
Yeah.
But that's the problem is, like, we were growing up in a place where no matter what happened, hey, you fall down on your bike, you get up.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, baby, are you okay? Don't worry. You don't have to ride your bike for another month. It's okay. Right? This is the world we live in. So my kids understand that you have to go through it. My daughter just called me on her way here and asked me something. My son was just on the phone before we started. He's 21 years old, owns a successful powder coating company. He goes, Dad, I got a question for you. Do you think I'm good enough to start a podcast? I said, absolutely. Like, well, what's it about? What value you're bringing? I go, when I come home, here's what we'll do. We'll sit down. We'll talk about what value you want to bring to the market and what impact you want to make. Then I'll tell you yes or no. Right now, I can't tell you yes or no.
Yeah.
So it's about that kind of stuff and coming to me versus that 21-year-old who's like not going to ask his parents because his parents shed no value on him. And that's what I don't want.
Yeah. I love it. That was the call you got before, right?
Yeah,
before.
Hold on, my son's calling.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I love to see that too, because ultimately at the end of the day, like, that is our legacy, right? Is our children, our offspring. And, the people that we deal with that we love, that we deal with on a daily basis are closest to us. So, and a lot of times, in my experience, we tend to hurt the people we love the most too. So, for me, in my past and my background, I did a lot of damage, and the fact that I got to switch that up now, and I have my son in my life is powerful for me, and that I get to be there with him through those moments, good, bad, or indifferent. So,
I think we all make a lot of mistakes in life, and we either grow through them and become better, or we just look at them as like, we can't be better. And this is where a lot of people become paralyzed in life. Something bad happens to them, they make it their identity.
Yeah.
Versus saying like, why am I how many people do you know go, I don't understand why I'm going through this. I switch that. I go, how can you grow through this? What are you learning? What's the impact you can make? What can you teach somebody else, right? So that's really it at the end of the day, is like, how can you grow to a point where it's like, this is happening to me for this to go to the next level. If you don't go through the pain, you don't get the glory.
That's why I say I have no regrets for the past, because everything that I went through was for a reason, and everything conditioned me for the next step. So even though if it was a bad time or a bad season of my life, like, it made me prepared for the next part, which was the growth stage, So I definitely have the same mindset when it comes to that.
My kids are my biggest purpose in this world, and my biggest like legacy lever. How many people do you know? I do it for my kids. I go, and then this is great with my coaching clients. I go, really? How many times do you tell your kids you can't, or you won't, or it's not going to happen, or we can't afford it? What are you teaching them? I said, why can't you instill the value of like, hey guys, listen, like right now is not the time, but this day we will, or here's what we can, or here's what I'm doing to make that happen. It's all about how you train their brain. That's how they're going to cycle through life. So like my kids, if I do live events, let's say I got to go keynote speak somewhere. I just did an event in Long Island on Saturday. I brought my 16-year-old daughter with me. Someone in the crowd literally posted on Instagram and said, like, here's when you know you made it. When your kid's your biggest fan and they can't take enough pictures of you and they're just cheering you on in the back. And like, that's the first event my daughter's ever been to. My sons have been to events. And then I get people saying, hit me up like, listen, we told your sons, like, your dad's someone to be proud of. And your sons are like, yeah, he definitely is. Like, that's what matters. That's what gives you like goosebumps and makes you feel good, because you're making an impact for the ones that matter. The rest of the world wants to make an impact to all the social media followers that don't mean shit.
Yeah.
The people in your family and the people you do it for are the real impact makers that should be feeling it in your life.
Should be the first part. That should be the top of the priority list, right below God.
That's it.
So, no, I love it, man. Everything's been great so far. You kind of talked about legacy a little bit. Do you want to dive into that anymore? I mean, obviously you talked about your kids. What other impacts are you wanting to leave on the world?
So I just like, I've done shitty things in life like everybody else. But when I die, I don't want the conversations to be like, he was this person, he was that person. And as I go on, my kids go on, my kids have kids go on. I want it to be like, your father, your grandfather was a difference maker. Like whatever that looks like in someone's life. And there's so many conversations that people come back to me 2-3 years later, like, bro, like you don't even know, but that one conversation with me changed my entire life. You know how many podcasts I've been on, and whether it was the camera guy or whether it was someone sitting in the crowd or whatever, and they just hit me up a month, 2 months later, or a year later, like, dude, like I was on so-and-so's podcast, and what you said on a podcast changed my entire life. That's what matters to me. As long as I'm running life for a purpose to impact, that's all I care about, and that's my legacy, to leave an impact and make sure that continues to go on. Because if I help you, or I help her, or help him, and they're doing something greater that they weren't doing before, that's going to help their seeds.
I think we use, the internet and social media as that vehicle nowadays. It wasn't available before. So I said it before, the same thing with like
we only have MySpace.
That was way back.
From MySpace to my place. That's what I used to say.
I was like Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
But with Charlie Kirk, I kind of attribute the legacy to that, because that this gentleman isn't here anymore, right? But he has flooded the internet, flooded the airwaves, whether you like or don't like the guy. He's flooded the airwaves with content. And his kids will get to see that one day.
That's the power of YouTube. If you're doing something amazing, it's going to be there it's going to outlive.
As long as the internet's there, as long as you got Wi-Fi, it's
going to be there forever. Then they're going to recut it. So like on the way here, we're listening to Jim Rohn, we're listening to Zig Ziglar, and one of the guys in the car is like, bro, this guy sounds like he's around in his 70s. I go, bro, he'd be like 150 right now if he was still alive.
Yeah.
Like these guys were impactors. These are Tony Robbins coaches and mentors. Like these guys were around long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, these guys they're just so different.
Well, you're able to reach a larger crowd nowadays through it. Yeah. So, I mean, why not, man? I mean, that's the way I feel about it. And, you got your naysayers, you got your haters, and you get to the point where you don't even...
You don't focus on it. Yeah, it doesn't bother you.
Not even worth the breath.
Yeah.
Not even worth the thumb muscles.
I love the haters, bro. They help my algorithm.
Yeah.
But they're still there. Watch it.
They're still there. Yeah, it's still engaging.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So what big do you got going on next?
So for 2026, I got a mastermind in West Palm every quarter. Our first one will be in February.
Nice. Where?
As we haven't hit a location, but it's going to be somewhere in West Palm.
Okay.
Depending on how many people register for the mastermind, we're going to max it out at 20. We're gonna figure it out, but it's gonna be, I think, February 25th and 26th, something like that. Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I have one in Jersey as well. That's fully packed out, and I got a couple events going on. I have a big event coming up in New Jersey in April with Bedros Keuilian. I just did one with him. I'm also opening up something called the Winner Circle. And what we're doing is we're bringing 6-figure earners or more into this group of people exclusively. Where it's not going to be a networking group where, people want to come in and sell everybody. It's going to be a group where people can bring value to each other and want to see other people succeed. So high-level entrepreneurs that can help each other network and get through things. And we're going to be doing, different retreats, whether we do a training somewhere, we bring in a high top speaker like Brandon Bouchard or whoever we bring in, Trent Sutton, whoever. We bring somebody in, and then we do like a retreat where we're on a battlefield shooting guns all day. You know what I mean? We're going to do some good stuff with men, getting men a lot tighter. So that's going to be launching early 2026.
Nice.
And then my coaching, that's it.
Okay.
It's rough.
Yeah, it is. Where can people find you?
So my biggest platform is going to be Instagram, Big Dan Official. That's where I connect with everyone. So every DM, just like how we first started talking, every DM, everything is me, and you're talking to me. If you have any questions, if anyone in the audience has any questions about what they're doing in business, where they are currently, I will spend so much time with someone and not look for a dollar. It's not like, all right, yeah, you could pay me. I want to give you value. I want you to trust me, like me, and understand that I can help you. And then if you want to go even deeper, I'll do that for you. So Instagram is my biggest platform. I have bigdmastermind.com. For here in Florida, Big D Mastermind /Florida. I have bigdcoaching.com /1-on-1. And then I got a bunch of websites, but everything is, I'm on a link tree on my Instagram. That's where you find me. That's my most active and where I spend most of my time.
And we'll post that in the bio too. So Dan, it's been awesome, man. You definitely are a plethora of information. You have an awesome story, awesome background. Appreciate you coming to Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite, man.
Yeah. And well, guys, I mean, that was you got anything else to say?
No, that's it, man. Just work at your highest levels, execute relentlessly every single day, and don't look back. And at the end of the day, your whole life is in front of you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that does it for episode 9. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.
Awesome.